Hello, everyone. Welcome back to On Point Politics. And today I'm going to be talking about what the 2024 presidential race would look like based on current polling data. If you guys do enjoy the video, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on that post notifications bell so you don't miss another video, and consider joining the channel for a $4.99 a month membership. And without further ado, let's get into the video. And so for the sake of the length of this video, I am going to be marking off all of these safe states as states that are basically almost 100% guaranteed based off of my analysis to go over a 15-point victory. So this video is going to be a plus 15 margin video based on certain states. And we're going to be going over each state one by one depending on certain factors. And so I have basically characterized all of the areas and states that I do believe are going to go for either party by over 15 percentage points. Let me add DC here. And this is pretty much all of these states that will more than likely be under a 15-point margin. So the first state we're going to start off with is the state of Alaska. If you look at the state of Alaska, Trump has a pretty comfortable lead here, especially in these head-to-head polls, 8 and 7. So this averages out to 7.8. So Donald Trump would have a 7.5-point victory in Alaska. The next state would be the state of Nevada, which if you were to go here in the past couple of polls, not regarding the third party. According to Emerson College, Trump's up by 2, Trump's up by 4 in a Democratic internal, by the way. He's up by 3 here. So this roughly averages out to basically a Trump plus 3 aggregate. So he would be winning the state by a lean Republican margin. The next state is the state of Arizona, where in Arizona, if we go over here and we look up the state of Arizona, he is in fact leading considerably heavy, even without third-party candidates. He's leading in Arizona by 10. He's leading in by 5, by 4, by 5. So this averages out to actually a likely victory in the state. So he does actually win it by about 6 or 7 points on average, according to the latest polling data. If we go to the state of Colorado has Trump up by 10 points, 4 points, and 9 points. But this is a poll from May. I'm going to be using the more recent polls, which has him up 9 and 4. So if you average that out, that's roughly a 6-point victory. So let's say maybe 6, 7-point win based off of the current polling data. If you go to the state of New Mexico, and the latest polling that we've gotten, Trump is up by 8 points. Or excuse me, Biden's up by 8, Biden's up by 10. So funny enough, the polling actually has New Mexico to the left of Colorado, even though it's probably going to be the other way around. However, with third-party voting, there could be a possibility that Kennedy takes a decent vote share, and maybe Colorado does actually vote to the left of New Mexico, but we will wait and see. The next state we're going to be looking at is the state of Texas, where Trump has a pretty comfortable lead here. So he's leading by 8 points here. He's leading by about 6 points here. He's leading by about 8 points here as well. He's leading here by only 2 for some reason. I don't know why. And then here, he's leading by about 3 points. So these are earlier polls. So we're going to be using the ones from October and December, which have Trump up by a likely margin, possibly a 7-point victory in the state, which would only be like a 2-point shift from 2020. The next state we're going to be looking at is the state of Iowa, where he has considerable leads, 12 point, 9 points, 10 points. He has a 10 point. And by the way, look at this Newsom 13-point win. So he does even better against Newsom than Biden in this particular poll. And Trump is currently up 13 in this poll. These are from September, but these new polls have Trump up by basically almost all 10 points. So he is going to win the state by a likely margin. If we look at the state of Illinois, the polling is significantly closer than before. If you look at the latest poll from October of this year, Biden is only up by 10 percentage points in the state. This is a poll from 2022, which is a lot older than before, but it still only has him up by 12. Same thing with this. This is an August poll all the way back when. And so clearly, Biden is probably going to fall under that 15-point margin. I'd say based off of current polling, he wins it by about 12 or 13. Now we're going to be looking at the state of Ohio, which the state of Ohio has Trump up 14, 12, 8, 7. So it's roughly almost safe to say that, again, this is a likely maybe 11, 12 point win, depending on polling data. If we go to the state of Virginia, Biden's actually polling not the greatest here. You see +3, +6, +4. He's +5. So I'd roughly put this as maybe like ever so slightly under likely. It's probably like a 4.5 point win based off of current polling as of right now. If you go to the state of North Carolina, the state of North Carolina has big leads for Trump: 4, 9, 11, 9. Like, they are very, very big victories in these polls. So by the looks of it, it'd probably be about a 7, 8 point win in terms of the polling data. If we go to Georgia, Georgia is also going to have pretty big leads for Donald Trump as well. So he's up by 8 points here. And this was in Atlanta Journal-Constitution. And this was the University of Georgia who did this poll, and they got a Trump +8 victory. Trump up 8 points according to CNN here, up 5 points, up 7 points, up 6 points. So this state is probably a 6 to 7 point win based out of the current polling data. If we go to the state of Florida, Biden is, or Trump, excuse me, is up by 11, 10, 7, up by 5, up by 11. So it's roughly a 8 or 9 point win according to the polling data. If we look at the state of Maine, it's actually significantly closer than before. The second district has Trump up by 14 points, so we will be marking that down as a likely margin. The first district has has Biden up by 16 points, so will we be marking that as safe. And the state as a whole only has Biden up by 1 point, so this would be possibly a lean, maybe even tilt characterization. I'm going to leave it as lean for now. We go to the state of New Hampshire. The state of New Hampshire is going to have a couple of varying polls, but see Trump or Biden +3, Biden +7, Biden +7, Biden +10. So he's actually polling pretty well here. So I am going to put it in that likely category, even though, to be honest, if Georgia's a +7 victory, I doubt New Hampshire would be a +6, 7 victory the opposite way. I think it would be closer, not necessarily a flip, but I do think it'd be closer. New York isn't a concerning thing for Biden because in the latest couple of polls from October all the way up to now, he's been polling from 10 points or less in New York. So this is actually a likely characterization, about 8 or 9 point win according to the polling data. And now we are currently at the Rust Belt with Trump at 260 electoral votes. Before we fill out the Rust Belt states, I am going to go to Nebraska and look for that congressional district. It has Trump up by 18, by 16. In 2016, Trump won the state by about 19 points, give or take, and he won the district by probably 3.3. And then in 2020, he won it by about 16 points and lost that district by about 6.6. So I'd say if the margin has him at a 18 point win, we are going to make an inference and say that Trump maybe does win the second congressional district by a tilt margin. The first state I'm going to be looking at here is the state of Wisconsin, which has varying numbers. Trump is up 4 points in this poll. Biden's up by 4 points here, by 6, by 2, by 5. So it is a weird characterization. But based out of all of these recent polls, I believe that Biden does actually have this slight polling advantage here, even though realistically, if all of these states were to go Republican by this much, Trump would more than likely be winning it regardless. If we go to the next state of Minnesota, Biden will be up 3, 2, and 2 in the latest polls, and not even considering the May. So just 2 and 3 averages out to 2.5. So Biden is currently up in the state by 2.5 points. Now, if we go to the state of Michigan, we're going to see varying numbers. Biden's up by 4 in this poll. Trump in the other poll was up 12 points, and these are newer polls. Trump's 8, 3, 2, 10. So more than likely, I'd actually give this to Trump by probably a lean characterization in my personal opinion because the polls are all over the place. And actually, if you really do average this out, I think if you do, let's see, November 8, 2, 3, 8, 4, and 5, it's probably a 4.5 point win in the aggregate if you were to average it out. And if you look at the state of Pennsylvania, Biden's actually up significantly in the past couple of polls, and Trump's only up by one. So I will actually give this to Biden by a lean characterization according to the latest polling data. And so basically, according to this map, Trump would win 284 electoral college votes to Joe Biden's 254 by flipping Nebraska's second district, Michigan, Georgia, and Arizona from the last presidential election. Even though this is a pretty unconventional map, CNN's battleground map has Michigan going to Trump just straight out the gate. And so this could be an interesting surprise flip if Michigan does flip before Wisconsin and Pennsylvania. That would be a pretty interesting flip, but we will have to wait and see until election day. And so if you guys did enjoy the video, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications so you don't miss another video that I post. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.